All right, you guys. I hope you all have an amazing morning. Of course, it is Friday, and as we always do on Fridays, we have our Freestyle Friday chats, and we always like to welcome someone that's doing extraordinary things in the world. So I'm pretty pleased to have someone that only contributes to health in general, but also someone that is an outlier. You don't always see our culture involved in different areas as far as yoga. So I'm happy to have Marcel Smith, who is a co-founder of Inner Black Yoga. He has been doing great work, not just outside of the group, but also bringing something new to the group in regards to men's health. So, as you guys know, me and Dr. Damon, we are the founders of Modern Manhood. We appreciate all the support you guys have been getting. But hey, let's give a round of applause for our guest, Marcel Smith, my man. Let's go.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all having me on, man. Share this space with y'all. This is awesome. This is awesome.
And thank you for being a part of the team, my man, for real.
Yes, sir.
So, I got a question.
Okay.
How did you get involved in yoga? Because it's not too common. You're here, people of our background and our culture involved. More sports. Basketball, football, everything, weightlifting. Why yoga, bro?
That's a great question. So I just to kind of keep it short on the beginning point, like I started doing yoga because I play basketball. So I played basketball in high school, in college, and in high school, somebody was like, "Hey, man, you want to be able to jump higher, you want to get a little bit more flexible, you need to go to yoga." I'm like,
Mm,
yoga. I'm like, man, ain't nobody doing no yoga, man. That sounds weird. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
right.
nobody doing no yoga. So I actually went to this church. They had a free yoga class, and there's nowhere you can find free yoga. Like free yoga really
Yeah.
exists. It's a new thing on social, like on and YouTube and stuff like that, and social media. But really, free yoga at this time really wasn't a thing. So I went to the class, and I like fell in love with it, dude. Like I didn't really understand the spiritual side of it yet, but I
Right.
understood like, man, I feel good when I don't hear nothing. Like I'm coming out clear, my body like from lifting
Hmm.
weights all week. I'm like, oh, I gotta. This is really good. Like I gotta start. I just want to keep going to this class. I thought it was a lady in the class. Like it's not even so much about the practice. It was like, man, this is really dope. Like
Yeah, yoga's incredible, man.
good. Like I don't think I ever was like I don't know. It's like it almost felt it's similar to how you feel like if you like from a spiritual standpoint, just like how good you feel after leaving like a Sunday service and like
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. You've been
Oh
with your
wow.
family, everything's good. You had a good service, and then boom, you like yeah, I feel really rejuvenated. I feel like really ready to handle this week. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I would feel coming out of yoga like on a Saturday morning before practice for anything. I'm like, yo, I feel really good. Like I don't know if I'm supposed to feel this good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
anything that was weighing me down or stressful, like it just by that time, by that at the end of that class, it was like all is left on the mat.
Yeah, yoga just means union. So people, we have a different understanding of what it means from like a Western to Eastern civilization. Because Western usually practice it as a form of exercise, stress relief, where Eastern literally practice it for union with God. So it's like connecting to the highest being of your aspect of yourself. It's more of a spiritual practice. So, like, as far as the way that you learn it, that you know it as far as business, how do you think that has transitioned to the way you actually do it when you're teaching it? Did you teach it just for specific benefits, or does that even matter?
I think I teach it from the standpoint of a mental health connection,
Okay.
just
Mm.
like a physical somewhere to connect the physical and the mental, because that's what yoga
Hmm.
is supposed to do, to connect the physical and the mental. And as you get to that point, you have no choice but to allow the spiritual side in.
Absolutely.
So for
Tell me what
me,
that. Yeah, dig into that. That's an interesting take because, like Danielle said, and like you've expressed already, that there's so much more to it than just putting your body into a certain position. It really taps you into a place inside. But you said there's no choice
you have no
than to
choice. At
tap
some
into
point,
that.
when you go to when like most of the day we're like, oh, my foot hurt, okay, or we just kind of react, right? Most of the time
Okay.
we react to what our body is telling us. At some point when we go to a different dimension, we're able to have our mind tells our body, control our honestly kind of control our thoughts, control
Mm.
we can control all those things. And so like our slogan and kind of thing with inner black yoga is control your mind, control your life. And so, like, you
Mm.
want to be able to, like, what you tell yourself is true. Like, I know everybody's, as a man thinketh, so is he. That's biblical. Like,
Absolutely.
you add all these things. So when you pull into, when you get into yoga, you
Yeah.
begin to create the narrative instead of what you listening to on the radio, what you see in the world, all those things. You have no choice, and so it becomes a spiritual, like a law of attraction and like
Hmm.
manifestation place where you can kind of control what you tell yourself.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you heard the phrase. It's like life is 90%, like it's a little bit of what actually happened to you, but how you respond to it. And so it just,
Yeah.
I think yoga allows you to get in that space and really you control the narrative. You control your own narrative.
Yeah.
Um,
It puts you back in the seat of the soul.
that's funny. I don't read
Yeah, because
I call see this so.
yeah, I got it on. I got it in the library. Amazing book. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, there's a sense of an inner intelligence that allows you to be able to transcend that personal ego, which is what the dissertation is on, and coming into a unified, universal oneness with all things. There's no
Yeah.
distinguishing it. So it does empower you, and people don't understand it. Like it is such a wonderful gift that we're given. So it's awesome that you're given an opportunity to introduce people into that. So we studied in metaphysics. So most like metaphysics professors, they
no,
usually use karma yoga, hatha yoga, all the different variations of yoga to introduce people to it for those who may not have a familiarity to it. And the dope thing about it is, especially for people that's doing sports, this is the way they usually do it because for other people that have like a religious background, they may be a little turned off. But if you're like, oh, it's natural, just sports things that you're doing, this is how it influences. So I like the way that you take the approach in introducing it because it puts people at ease and helps really improve their
yeah, I
life.
don't even
And
try to go to the spiritual side. I literally coach basketball too.
mm-hmm.
Like, I've had people, parents like, "Oh, my kid can't do that. We Christians." I'm like, I'm like, yo, I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
like I'm just saying, like, hey, we need to relax our minds. It's a high stress, intensive situation we're gonna go.
Yeah,
I want my players as relaxed and calm as possible. And there she was
man,
like,
that's a gift.
I'll try it, you know, like I'm like,
Yeah,
yo, but and it's like, hey, I talk to God when I'm on the mat. Like this is me
yeah,
on the mat. Like it ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm this in this other place. Like all my thoughts I'm able to cleanse and really have my greatest place of prayer. You know what I mean? My greatest place of peace.
man. There's a saying that God exists between your thoughts. God exists
So,
between your thoughts.
I wanted to
What
say.
is some of the biggest benefits that you guys have seen doing this over time? And how long have you all been doing this as well?
So I started doing yoga my sophomore year of high school. So that would make me around about 15 or 16 years old.
That's
Um,
dope, man.
so I'm 29 now. So around 10 to 13 years, somewhere around
That's
there,
awesome.
off and on. Now it's like I've adopted it as like everyday practice almost. Like I'm
That's
on
legit.
3 to 5 times a week. I'm teaching probably once or twice a week. Um, and so I kind of started then as a sophomore. I kind of got out of it, got back into it through Bikram yoga in college. It's funny how God just like you slowly get turned and kind of connected back into things. So I had a girlfriend that I was dating at the time, and she was like, "Yo, you need like I was hurt. I had broke my hand, and so like she's like, man, you need to get in shape. Like you need to get in shape quickly. Like you don't got time. So you should go to a Bikram yoga class. I'm like, like I ain't never did Bikram. Like this, like yo, you're gonna sweat so much. Like it's gonna be perfect for you. And I got really into Bikram. So I was literally doing Bikram during the basketball season. Coach like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, I just feel so good when I come out. like,
Yeah,
you're just gonna make you tired. Like I'm like,
yeah.
who cares? Like I feel so much better. I'm in better condition than everybody else. And then fast forward for the pandemic, or during the pandemic, George Floyd, Inner Black Yoga. I had this idea to do a YouTube and yoga enthusiast page, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my friend was like, "Yo, you should do a YouTube page." And I'm like, "Well, if you know me, like I really can't just go and talk about yoga and not really do all my research. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't really. I won't feel comfortable.
I was like, yo, you should do a YouTube page. I'm
So
like,
I ended up
well,
going.
you know me, like, hey, Damon, I think y'all got the phone up kind of high.
Just go and talk about yoga and not really do all my research. Yoga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really. I won't feel comfortable.
The video, you can hear the feedback in the video.
So I ended up going. You know me, like.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. What were you saying?
No, so I was like, yo, if I'm gonna do some video, like I gotta get certified. Like I gotta go all the way through before I get in front of a camera and start talking in front of anybody. That's just who I am as a person. So I ain't talking about nothing. Unless I gotta go all the way through before I get in front of a camera and start talking in front of anybody. That's just who I am as a person. So I ain't talking about nothing. Unless I gotta go all the way through before I get in front of a camera and start talking. So
okay, cool.
I ended up joining. I did Black Mat yoga certification, and so it was COVID. So it was like I did Black Mat yoga certification, and so it was COVID. So it was like I did Black Mat yoga certification. It's so it was like I did Black Mat yoga certification.
Yo, the feedback, Damon, the feedback is coming in through the. Can you hear it? I don't think he can hear us. Damon, can you hear us? You can't hear us, Damon. I think there's a language barrier between us.
Listen, can you guys hear me?
No, yeah, we can hear you, bro. We can hear you. Yes.
Listen,
can you hear us?
No, yeah, we can hear you, bro. We can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear us?
So he can't hear the feedback either.
So, no, I can't. I can't hear anything. Nope.
So, no.
Oh man, when he replays this, he's gonna feel like, oh my god, because he's a perfectionist too.
Carry on.
Okay. All right. So why don't you try to use your try to unplug it and replug it in? I'm gonna troubleshoot. This is for all you viewers out there. This is a natural instinct of a man to be a fixer. So we'll let him figure it out. Okay, Marcel. So you got your certifications, which is legit, bro. That's amazing. So when did you decide to dive fully into it?
Well, once I got certified, I said I was gonna do something. I was gonna I wanted to start teaching more and more. Like I did it a few times with my basketball teams, but I'm like, hey man, maybe I could teach it like I don't know if y'all familiar with Sunday service, but I could go around the country and service yoga thing. And then literally as soon as I was doing it, one of my boys, like Lee, my partner, he was like, yo, I'm about to get certified too. I'm like, what?
That's legit.
Like Lee and Lee are like this. Like,
yeah.
Our story is crazy. Like we played basketball against each other all growing up, and then we went to different high schools, but we just was always boys. Like we always had a high level respect. Then we got to college, we were really kicking and going through the same thing, so we just became really good friends, even closer. And so like throughout our journey, it was like it just made sense. Like I'm like, yo, bro, like he in LA, I'm in Detroit. Like he's from Detroit, but he's in LA. Like we really doing the same thing. Let me just pitch this idea to him and see. Like, would he be down to do it? He like halfway through the conversation, he was like, bro, I was literally thinking about doing something just like that. Like,
that's legit.
So it was just the alignment was there. You know what I'm saying? I always say I only want to partner with things that are mission aligned. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I was just like, yo, that's crazy. So we just got on it. I was like, yo, I got a logo already. I got tagline. Like, he like, yo, how long you been thinking about this? I'm like, yo, it just literally came to me in the last week. Like, when it's time, it's time. I was searching for a name for like, I would say the whole pandemic until the end of my class, like the day of, like when I really came to Inner Black, I was sold on the name, came up with the logo, and had the slogan like in the same week. I was like, yeah, I've been looking.
What's the slogan?
Control your mind, control your life.
Okay, that's right. That's legit, bro.
So it just became a thing, and we just got on the social media, started teaching classes, and it's just been great. Like he does a lot of stuff out in LA. I travel for work, so I'm always like in different cities. So I'm just tapping in with different yoga groups and different classes around. Right now I'm in Indy. But I was in Iowa. I met. You'd be surprised. Like I met Black Yogi
That's
out there.
legit.
Anytime I go into class, he'd be like, "Oh, you." He look at me like at the beginning, like, okay, it's just a regular black guy, probably athlete coming in here trying to. By the end of it, they're like, "Yo, how long you been doing yoga?" I always get that question, like, "How long you been doing it?" I'm like, so it's just been a beautiful journey, man. And I'm just trying to get more black men, black people, not exclusively, but especially just to like really get them into it, just to give it a try from a mental health standpoint. Like, hey, I know people will go to counseling, but I think honestly, somebody go to a yoga class before they go to counseling.
You
Black,
said you do know?
I feel like black men, a lot of them, I feel like will go to a yoga class before they go to counseling.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do something physical. Let's do something I connect to.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing for yoga for me, where I've seen the biggest change in myself, has been journaling. Like me and him, Lee talk about that all the time. Like being honest with myself,
Yeah.
aspect of yoga, and just really getting out your thoughts, expressing that is powerful, bro.
Yeah, they're both kind of
Yeah,
synonymous
the
though,
aspect
because
of
people don't
yoga,
realize like we're
really getting out
psychophysical
your thoughts,
units.
expressing
So
that
when we're doing something
is powerful.
energetically, it is a
Yeah, they're both
transfer
kind
of
of
energy.
synonymous though,
So
because people
definitely
don't
in
realize
yoga,
like
it's a
we're
transfer of
a
energy.
psychophysical unit.
Dang.
So when we're doing something energetically, it
Feedback,
is a
Damon.
transfer of energy. So definitely in yoga, it's a transfer of energy.
Huh?
You got to send him a text so he can.
Yeah, I will. Okay. So yeah, because they're both the same. Like when you're transferring energy, you're doing an action, you're going through it. I think the thing that's beautiful about it is actually understanding that there's an inner work that's taking place. Cause you got it's just like when you're working out, like you have to do the work. It's just synonymous with the way our journey is as far as living as a soul being, going through the experience, going through the transfers of energy, operating in the scope of nature by being. This is beautiful, man. What is the biggest probably revelation that you've had with doing it and seeing it, especially seeing yourself as an authority leader? Because in this space, it's different from like going through the motion and then being able to create that experience from everybody else.
Yeah. I've seen the biggest transformation. I always feel like I've been a leader, but I feel like I've been able to like really bring all the different parts of me and see my
Mm,
growth and really be like really vulnerable to allow that to be like, hey, this is me. Like I am this, I am also that. And
right,
it's okay to express that. You know what I mean? So it's been powerful in that sense and just admitting my faults and like
right,
we have this narrative sometimes as like in our minds we're like the superhero we
right,
do good like everything is good it's like being able to come to terms of like no you really stuck in this area like
right.
you made a bad decision and that's okay how do you make changes or admit to that self be honest with yourself and kind of move forward to be a better person in
Yeah,
our area.
that's powerful. That's powerful. Being able to embrace all of you. It's so crazy when you think about that. So I had a conversation with a friend yesterday.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Welcome, Damon. Yes. Can you hear us? No, you can't hear us. Hey, I want you to know that
Yes, there's
hat
going to
you
be a
got,
lag though. Um,
that beanie is fly.
uh,
Head warm early.
This is probably killing him right now, bro. Hey, Marcel, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna redo this interview. I'm just letting you know right now. We're gonna redo this
That's
interview.
cool with me too. I
Yeah. So, oh, relationships. So a lot of us we get into relationships and we're expecting to experience a great level of intimacy. However, it's hard for us to expect it if we are not willing to accept all the aspects of who we are. And so going back to what you're saying, like what does that look like if like there's parts of us that we don't receive but we're wanting to experience that? How can you have union outside of you if you don't have union within you?
that's the biggest thing. I always say if you like in dating, right? So I'm a single guy, right? So I always say, hey, the number one thing I'm looking for when I meet a person and I'm getting to know them is like, hey, what's the relationship with yourself? Like what are the things that
Mm,
you're saying to yourself? How do you treat your body? What foods are you putting in your body? Do you care? Do you like all from that relationship really reflects in all your other relationships with
wow.
God, sex, money, it like your family, all of that stems really from your relationship with self. And so I think when you talk about relationship, like self care is a big thing now in society, but like and self love, but like what is I always ask like how do you what are the actions that you show for self love and self care?
Right.
Consistent basis. And
That's
people
powerful.
like if you're not doing it, I'm asking like well why not or what could you do to like I don't even know what I would like for myself to like so I think that's the big point of just like the relationship with yourself comes first.
Man, that creates the greatest sense of awareness. It really does. When you can evaluate yourself unconscious or not even unconsciously, but not without the judgment on it, just seeing it for like clearly what it is in a neutral space. That is a powerful question. I understand you like self care, but how are you implementing it in your life? What does it look like? Bro, that is powerful.
And not just the things that feel good to us.
Right, absolutely.
Like the new thing with self care is like I get my feet done, I take some time to breathe. Okay, great. What are you doing to also challenge and push yourself? Because the things that when it comes to discipline and like working out has great benefits for yourself. Like right, but working out doesn't feel good while you're doing it.
Right, right,
Self care can't only be based in the fact of doing things that feel good to us. Like we have
right,
to be willing to do some things that doesn't feel good,
right.
be challenging to us, and they're just as valuable as the things that do feel good. You know.
That's good. Yeah, it's like the saying I like to say, growth cannot take place in complacency. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's like being inconvenient, like intentionally inconvenient yourself for the ability to, experience like what not chronic stress, but acute stress. Whereas like it is pushing your mental just a little bit for you to understand like what constructs you have in your life, what barriers you have in your life. Because even like yoga, bro, that is not a natural thing. I did yoga. What was it? Not too long ago. I was doing yoga a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, I need to stretch. But this the idea of going to put myself in some of those positions. I'm like this is totally out the usual what I'm doing when I'm lifting, doing hit training, any of that. And it'll literally get to the point to where you'll want to stop sometimes. But as soon as when you relax and surrender into it, it becomes therapeutic.
I'm super therapeutic, man.
So it definitely is a mental thing.
And your body expands. That's another thing about yoga. So like when you get on your mat, where you are in your practice and doing yoga, like your body initially is not used to the movement, so it's going to be uncomfortable. But through time,
Right.
it becomes easier and expanding to do different things. So it's like you almost want to do it. You want to start early as possible so you can begin to stretch and flex those muscles where they're comfortable and it doesn't have to be so much of a challenge. The more you do it, the more you kind of be willing to expand. It kind of allows your body to kind of get used to it.
Absolutely. So you mentioned like healthcare and eating. So is there a specific diet that you adopt whenever you're doing this? Are you pretty like relaxed, or what do you usually advise people on when it comes to diet?
I am very conscious about what I put in my body. I always say I eat to live. I don't live to eat.
Absolutely.
I will say at the same time, I do. I've tried a little bit of everything though. Like
Okay.
I've literally like been a fruitarian for like a month, which I only ate fruit for a whole month, which is crazy. I've fasted. I've been a pescatarian for like a year and some change before. I was a vegan for 6 months. I was vegetarian for a period.
Yeah.
I've literally tried every single possible thing with diet. I think what I do now is I smoothie in the morning. I'm kind of like closer to probably Dr. CB's thing. If I try not to eat,
That's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
I try not to eat past 8 o'clock. My body's on the clock. Like as soon as I wake up, I drink some water. It's usually flushing out everything I ate from yesterday.
Yep.
And I probably have, depending on how strenuous my day is, I usually always start with a smoothie, and then during the day I might have a lighter lunch or a bigger dinner, or vice versa. So that's
Yeah. Dude, that is exactly what I'm on right now. That is crazy. Yo. I
and
was making spilled spaghetti yesterday.
yeah, I had spaghetti yesterday. I made some spaghetti. Yeah.
Yep, I made some spelt noodles. Man, Damon, I really want you to be in this, bro, because I know you would have some just amazing questions. Because he teaches Tai Chi. Like,
Did you start?
dude. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I've been to the Titan
Yes.
before. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
So I know he got his phone. He has his phone on, but he has his mic muted because of the feedback. But I know he is over there with so many questions, fam. This is nuts. So maybe you can telepathically project what you want to say so I can insert it or insert a question. So for you guys that's on here that's talking, KG, let me know what questions you guys have in regards to men's health, to make sure we keep this flowing and make sure we can tap into Marcel as much as we possibly can. What do you think has been like one of the greatest rewards of being able to partner with your friend? You said his name is Lee.
Lee Bailey, yeah, yes,
Lee
sir.
Bailey. What do you think is one of the biggest like rewards in what you guys have been doing and bringing this to the culture?
Well, one, I think we're very similar, like, but different at the same time. So we're able to reach a very wide net of just people. Um,
Hmm.
I grew up inner city. He grew up in the suburbs. He played
Wow.
different sports. I played basketball. Like he kind of like we went to one school together, so we kind of got a year of experiencing that together. He went to school in Hawaii. I went to school in Houston. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
So like all these different differences, but very similarities at the same time. I think it's been most rewarding to see some like almost like a little bit of a reflection of myself in someone else in a different
Two
environment,
parallel worlds.
two parallel worlds, and then being able to like speak into each other's life, like and hold each other accountable, and be like, "Yo, bro, we need to pick this up," or "I don't know about this," and just being having that friendship where it's like, "Hey, the relationship and the is there as it can't be taken away. Can nothing in business
Right.
gonna make us flip that? You know what I mean? We have that level of respect with each other. And I think that's most rewarding to do things that you love with people you love. You know?
Man, it sounds like y'all got a karmic bond. Like it's just deeper than a regular friendship and a regular relationship, dude. That is, yes, tight, man. When you find your tribe, that's the way I feel like about Damon. But
That's
he
dope.
can't listen in, so
It's
can't
dope.
contribute. KG's tapping in. I used to date a yogi, and she told me that yoga was meant to be difficult so that you can learn to breathe through the difficulty and then apply that to your everyday life. Powerful.
Yeah,
That is
when
powerful.
like everyday life, like I think the other part of this, like the timing of Inner Black Yoga was like I was in Atlanta. Like it was, so you got George Floyd, you got all the protesting going on like during this time, and then I'm running outside getting in shape every day, and then you get Ahmaud Arbery. And I'm like, yo, I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Could have been me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I look at it as like Inner Black Yoga is like I saw something on social media the other day that said it's 45 million ways to be black, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
this was my response to what was going on, right? So I had that anger, I had that man, this world is crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? As a black guy trying to make it, like coming from where I come from, like my response had to be different. I wasn't gonna protest, but this is my protest, freeing more. You know what I'm saying? Teaching them how to control their mental and using yoga as a tool to deal with those feelings that I felt because I know I ain't the only one who had those.
Man, that's powerful, man.
You know,
That
so
is powerful.
let's get on the mat. Let's go through it. Like I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? I know you can relate. I
Right,
know
absolutely.
the sense of
So you
like, dang, like the world is like coming at me full swing right now. How do I respond to that? How do I breathe through that?
right. Yeah, man, that's like teaching emotional and mental management is what it is. And I think it definitely does get us centered in a way to where we realize like you can still live and exist without having to feel like you got to react to everything.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Especially in our culture, and especially with something like that, because it's almost hard not to react, but to be able to understand that you can still empower yourself to live and exist within that and react consciousness, live fully and be fully present. Man, it's difficult. Like that, those are just high turbulence times as it is when it comes to racial injustice, when it comes to being a regular black man, just working out who was the guy that got shot? I know. I remember we did a jog for the guy that got shot and killed just jogging in the neighborhood, right?
Ahmad
And
Arbery. Ahmad Arbery.
yeah, right. And so the emotion of feeling like, dude, I can't even go jogging in a regular neighborhood. It's so threatening just to the human psyche alone. And then try to talk to somebody about breathing. Like, bro, you on something totally different right now. Like, I'm not really trying to hear that. But it really is empowering when we realize like we can live a healthier life and not have to be reactive to high stress environments. I
Yeah.
think for me, for even doing the practice that I've been doing, for me realizing like, man, I can still have peace despite what's going on. And it doesn't mean like I'm like ignoring it. It doesn't mean I'm being completely ignorant. It just means that I have the ability to control my inner world. And if I can control my inner city, which I think is a personal responsibility, then there's nothing outside of me that can dictate the narrative of my life.
Control your mind, control your life.
Absolutely.
Like literally, I had to like that. It just hit me like, yo, like if I can teach people, like it doesn't matter what people say, try to expose or like make black men think like this or be like this, and like he's threatening or he's a good one. It's like no, like I'm just as much as everybody from the hood is just as much as I am the people in my MBA classes. Like
Absolutely. Marcel, you got that question? You see it?
it's Black History Month as the black people are no strange to appropriation. How do you approach the idea of appropriation when it comes to embracing and sharing yoga, which is from India? Um, I think that I think it's something to learn from everybody. So I don't look at it from this standpoint of like the appropriation thing. I think I try to embrace and learn from all cultures and bring that and what that looked like for us. And I think that when you think about different places in the world, when you talk about the like it's a Yoruba tribe
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, like they were practicing yoga. So
Right.
who came first? Like it's a picture of a guy doing the yoga pose, part of their dancing. Like so it goes
Right.
deep. I always say when it comes to history, it's always slanted. It seems to be we only know
One
half
part of it.
or a part of it. Like,
Right.
so it's like, I think that it is in Nigerian and African roots, yoga is. So I think that's another part that comes natural. But I think it's important to embrace that and know that that was maybe some of their strengths and why they could do certain things.
That's beautiful. Man, we also got to keep in mind, like we all have the same genetic blueprint. The DNA strand or the DNA strand is the same, right? And so these things are not partial to one particular type of culture. They are universal, right? There's a saying that separation is an illusion. The only thing that really distinguishes us is our own perspective that we like to have as far as our construct, our belief systems. But honestly, man, this thing benefits everybody. It's a gift to all of
Everybody,
humanity.
everybody, man, everybody can get better. You can't tell me that a white person can get better from doing yoga. I'm sorry, you can't. You
Yep.
can't. This is just for black people. No, no, you can't. You can't get me to believe that. That's good.
I don't know, Marcel, bro. Unless you drink celery and lime juice every day, you're not doing it right, bro. I heard you got to drink celery and lime juice. You got to do the yoga culture. Matcha, maca, what is it? Maca tea, green tea,
Or
celery juice.
kombucha. You just got to drink a kombucha and you'll be fine.
You
Yeah.
Man, have you had any kind of flack as far as being black and doing it? Like, I know, like, you started in high school, so I can imagine hooping. You know what I'm saying? And somebody been like, bro, this dude hooping, he do yoga. Like,
I've always
how
been
was, I mean,
I've always been like this, like out of the box. Like, he's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like he cool, but we don't know what Marcel might come up and do. Like I always been like
okay.
that. And I always had a high level of respect, man. So I would say the one thing I will say in the yoga space, it comes off as like a lot of the men who do the yoga are gay or homosexual. So it usually come off like we get hit on our page once a week. Like if you notice our yoga page, like we are 70% followed by women. Like
Yeah, man.
and it's like we get wrote like, hey, like it is so refreshing to see such masculinity at the same
Yeah.
in the yoga space, and I'm like, thanks, like, yeah, I'm saying like I don't like. So I think it comes sometimes with like, oh, are y'all gay? Like what? Like you know what I'm saying? Like no,
Nah.
no. So
It's an
that's
intuitive.
that's the only
Usually
thing that has come from it. I haven't got anything like, who do you think you are being black in the yoga space? I think is more welcome now.
more of a masculine thing.
Masculinity
That's
is huge. Like
yes.
it'd be really surprised at some of the messages we get.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. So not necessarily a race or culture thing, but more of like a masculine, feminine,
Yeah,
egocentric type thing.
yeah.
Interesting.
That's the biggest
Interesting.
thing.
I didn't really even think about that, but it is predominantly more associated with like a female type energy. But introspection and anything intuitive, reflection usually is.
That's fair.
Yeah, it usually is.
We can
Like I
do
know
it.
when I go to a lot of meditation camps, it's usually that's the reason why I wanted to start modern manhood, to be honest with you. Because when I started studying metaphysics about three years ago, just learning about the mind and psychology, and I was always interested in understanding it because I was like, man, the way that you think really can shift different aspects of your life, which can lead to transformation. So if you're a kind of person that's really strong, that's really into this type of thing, that understands like I don't want to be a victim to my circumstances in my life. For me, this was like the biggest key factor in me being able to explore different things. I think a black man in yoga is almost like Lil Wayne learning skateboard. It's like, bruh, you
Yeah,
from the hood, you about to skateboard? Like, what is this? So I like the idea of you doing it, or like, Dr. Damon being able to do Tai Chi. Because we realize in some ways we've kind of boxed each other into a traditional way of thinking, even when it doesn't serve us. So whenever I got to that point, I was like, man, if this stuff is really able to help you, especially in health, because as being a man, men, we take on a lot of stress. We die young, and we are usually the leaders of the family. We're the providers and we're protectors. But if we don't value our health, what does that say in terms of our leadership?
mm. Always. That's deep, man. Like it's another question. I go through a series of things when it comes to dating. I said, well, what is it when you talk about core values for yourself? What do you value? Most people say, I value God, family, and I say, what about health?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
health is like, how well can you praise God if you can't breathe?
And it says cleanliness is next to godliness. I'm saying, like when you think about it, cleanliness is next to God. So actually valuing your health is a form of worship.
It is. It is. I think another thing I didn't touch on this. Um, as we talk about men and dying younger and having stress, yoga allows us to address those stress areas where we hold it in the body. So like
Mm,
our postures from our hips. Most men have tight hips. Why we
right.
have hips? I used to think it was because okay, well, women are from sex or just they just do more. Well, no, that's where we hold stress at.
Wow.
Even with our shoulders, it's like yeah, big broad shoulders. Like that's like stress. That's stress when you hold it. That's tenseness.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to be able to sit back and. So I didn't know that, but through time, I think that's very powerful to like be in practice and like addressing those things and knowing that. Like if we knew we was really stressed up, like there's so much stress and tenseness in our shoulders, we probably would do that.
Right.
Or like our hips, like you see it all the time.
That is powerful. So you guys, I'm gonna just sum up on what he just said in case you didn't catch that. So for those who's like, man, I don't want to go to counseling and talk about a lot of my issues. He is saying that a lot of things that we hold on to manifest in our bodies in certain ways, and by doing yoga, it allows you to release some of this tension that's going on in your body physically, as well as energetically and mentally. You may, even if you're not conscious of it, the movements of it does allow you to release it. It creates a channel. It's like medicine.
Yeah, medicine for the soul.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
That's
man.
powerful. Damon, you got some. I want to say this too. Is there anything else that you want to say that you feel like you haven't addressed too?
No, man. I think the last part, I guess, the second tune of that is it's better to build strong boys than men, right? W.D. Du Bois.
Mm.
So the younger we can get young men into this and boys in the sense of like, wow, like okay, this ain't even that bad. Like, oh, I went to a yoga class. Unconsciously, they're learning how to deal with their emotions and cope and take the power in themselves. So
Yeah.
I just try to get as many young people into it as well. Like the younger, if I think, okay, I started as a sophomore in high school. What if I was introduced to this in middle school or elementary?
Man, agree.
So
Agree.
instead of going to detention, you got to go to a 15-minute yoga class
Yeah, that'd
and,
be powerful.
and journal for the next 15 minutes.
That'd be powerful. That would be life changing, bro. Life changing.
So it's just a matter of time, man. We're just building slowly. I am getting closer to being back home, and I took on a work program for 2 years, so I live on the road. But I am really close to being home for a year, like, and next year, and just like literally being able to dive into this more as a side instead of just like a side project, and to like
Right.
devote more time and having a base, maybe a yoga studio. Just I got a lot of different creations like that I want to kind of bring to life. But
Yeah, I got some people I want to tap you in with. I got a friend that has an after school program, and I think what you're talking about would be dope to have there because they got boxing there. I think they got some weight training, but I don't think he's had yoga, so that'd be dope. And it's a lot of young men that could inner city as well, bro. Like a lot of the stuff that I love to do, especially coming from because I was raised in the inner city, is thinking about the idea of self sufficiency. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? How we're taught how to do it. Go to school, even though you may not like it. Go be an athlete, even though, this seems like the only way to get freedom in your life. But being able to empower yourself to understand that there is a greater sense of intelligence in you and you can use that, but it starts with understanding how to understand your mind. And if you can do that, like you literally can have the key to everything you could possibly ever want in your life. So I think that in itself, being able to bring that to young men in inner city, bro, can not only be life changing for them, but it could change generations. Because if your mom see you doing it, she's gonna want to get into it. That's something your grandmother can get into. Like this is the stuff that really does break generational curses. It really does. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. My mom been on the mat. My mom has a yoga mat. My mom ain't never had no yoga mat until I got started teaching yoga. You
That's
know what I'm saying? Like,
fire.
never. Like it's
This
normal.
is
It's normal for my family to get their knees replaced. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
yeah, that's just reality. Like, hey, my mom's on the mat. So that's it's powerful, man. And
That's
honestly, I don't even think about it. I I'm so much usually in the moment that I like I reflect on paper a lot, but I don't just sit there and reflect a lot. But that's just even saying thinking of that is like that's really dope. Right?
it's a huge realization there.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's because you're moving, bro. You're moving in line with your purpose. It's bigger. It's great to do things that's bigger than you.
100%, 100%.
I feel like that's what we're created for, bro. That's fire, bro. That's commendable. That is really commendable. Straight up, because everybody doesn't answer the call. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it from an intuitive perspective.
Okay.
Because I believe that everybody does have, and this would be beautiful too. I believe that everyone has an idea reason of the reason why they're here. You go to the grocery store because you're hungry. You might holler at a chick because you feel like you desire some intimacy. You might go to a movie because you want to have entertainment. Okay, let's say you do choose this life, and there's a reason why you're here. What do you think has been the leading factor in you being able to feel that emotion and follow through with it? Because sometimes we get that gut feeling but we second guess ourselves or we doubt it. What do you think has
Uh,
been different for you?
uh, I don't know if y'all seen the new Kanye documentary that's out.
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
my
I
mom.
think the one episode, is it one episode?
It's two. It's two. The second one just came out yesterday.
Okay, perfect. I ain't seen that one. Let's talk about it.
So just kind of like I had a praying mother. My mom believed in me, like Donda believed in Kanye. Like so, my mom's like confidence that was instilled in me.
Yeah.
It's nothing you can't do. It's nothing you can't. There's nowhere you can't go. Like no man stand before it. You know what I'm saying? That like everybody will bow. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's been instilled in me. I think the other part is just spiritual, like just taking the time of like accountability of like, all right, like it's one thing to say you great. It's one thing to like want to be great. You got to listen and be very connected to God's voice to what to do and how to move. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I've been like, I ain't want to get on the road and do what I do right now for work. You know what I'm saying? That was God.
Right.
I was cool coaching, making some money. Like I was living good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I've been very connected to God's and my purpose, as well as like the confidence instilled in me from my mother. That like, nah, you great. Like you use purpose. You got it's anointing on your life. Just speaking that
That's beautiful,
and
man.
really believing it and working towards it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
using and like for me, I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan too. But like everything negative, every pressure, challenge, thing that come my way, like it's just a fuel for me to rise and help others.
Absolutely. That's dope, bro. Yeah, I was watching it. I was like, man, there's something powerful about being affirmed by a mother that makes you feel like you just a champion. You can champion life. When she said, what did she says? The giant looks in the mirror and sees nobody. Bruh, I was like, Donda is dropping mad
That
gems
was
right
the,
now,
that was
bro.
the most powerful, might be the most powerful thing on the document.
Yeah, bro. It
Yeah,
was just beautiful. And it helped me understood, like it truly helped me understand some of the things that he do. Deepak got this thing where and this is why I kind of vouch for Kanye in some form of fashion. But Deepak had this thing where he shaved his hair, shaved his eyebrows, shaved all of his face, and he said he literally went through this journey, this pilgrimage, because he wanted to see who he was. Not in this form of shape of ego, but he said, I want to understand who I am without the, friends, without the family, like truly me, getting to the center of being able to understand who I am. And I thought about that from the perspective of we're usually led by who we believe we are, but that's usually association to our attachments, not truly who we feel to do. And so, like what you said is so amazing being spiritually led. So basically, you're like super in tune with making sure like you value having a spiritual relationship and being led in that form of fashion.
hmm
That's dope, bro. I got a saying, Damon, another saying. There's a saying, if you see yourself as purely physical, you'd be limited to the finite. If you see yourself as a spiritual being, you become infinite.
man, yeah,
Yeah, man, there's no, I mean, because think about it, God can rearrange everything in your life, and if you one with source, then there's nothing there's no barriers. There
I
really
like
isn't.
that.
Yeah. It just depends on if you decide you want to surrender to it. It is. It really is. Think about how many synchronicities. Listen, these synchronicities lined up. Your friend, definitely a karmic bond. The dream, the job, like everything falls in place. It's like really the only inharmony that takes place is because of our own either arrogance, our self-doubt, and our fear. But allowing like to do the yoga, doing the exercises, and yes, it is a spiritual practice, but it's literally meant to allow us to come into understanding of who we truly are.
yeah, yeah.
Know thyself.
Know thyself. That's huge.
Damon, you with us now.
That's beautiful. Marcel, where can we find you, bro?
You can find me on my social media is the Soul Enhancer, which is
I
hilarious.
like it.
I got a story on that. Who comes up and calls themselves the Soul Enhancer? Like, oh, I like that. I like that. Uh,
That's fire, bro. Oh, I
like,
like hey, your logo is sick, bro.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that was a thing in
On
itself.
that.
But yeah, the Soul Enhancer and on social media, and then on Instagram, and then we're on Inner Black Yoga, just at Inner Black Yoga. On we have a website as well as I don't know if the website is actually up or not, but and the social media, Instagram, and then the YouTube page where we started off from a black blank space of like, hey, this is why we all came here and did this. Me and him have a video up. It's pretty dope. And yeah, he's been doing like park yoga in LA, like we want to, like, I got a vision to do like 100 black men doing yoga in the park. Like, I love doing. That's one of my favorite things to do is doing yoga in the park. So
Sign
like,
me up.
yeah, so it's gonna happen. We got the yoga mats, we got yoga pants, we got bands. We're just growing. Um, in the yoga space, there's just not a lot of black faces in that space. It's beginning to get some, but we're all really, really stretched out, and nobody has been really given that platform yet. And then next year we're coming out with a journal.
That's fire, bro. Put us on that too.
Yes.
Welcome to Modern Manhood to do a journal challenge. Man, I love visualization. Yeah, that's what I got. I'm working on a book that's like it's a manifestation guide, intentional manifestation guide that'll help us with visualization, definitely journaling and self-reflection because we just do not do that enough. Especially if you're in a job where you're sitting in front of a computer all day. And I got to thinking, just like we got all those files up that we don't close, is exactly how we're living our life. And all we do is we open up an additional file every single time we do something new, every new thing. And we never take the time to just close all that thing out. Even when we go out and we think it is, everything is just minimized. So it's not too often we start with a clean slate, bro. So that's powerful that you're doing that, bro. This is amazing. I love what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm excited, man. I'm just each day just building and trying to kind of get better, man.
That's it. So, Damon, what's up? Or I'm gonna say Marcel. Okay, this is the question I always ask. If there was one gift you could live the world by which you would be known for, what would that gift be? A saying, a quote, statement, gift?
Uh this is my favorite quote right now. It's better to see a sermon than hear a sermon.
Uh, why not be the sermon? I like it.
Oh, both,
I,
but
I like it. I
I,
like it.
I'd rather live the work instead of talk about the work.
Let's talk. Come on, bro. That's it. Come on.
So that's
So
that's
Damon's
what
gonna say right now. This is where Damon used to say, Donnell, tell him what we have going on next. Is that? Can you hear me, David? Okay. So you guys, if you don't know, we got the meetup coming up Monday. Hey man, and Marcella wish she was here. So we got the Man Cave meetup. If you guys don't know, every last Monday of the month, we do this networking event where all the guys is in our group. We come together and we basically kick it. It's a shoot the ish type thing. Next Monday, we partner with amazing friends at Kendrick Spirits to be able to host this event from 6:30 to 9. I believe the tickets are $10 now, so they did go down in pricing. So if you guys would like to cash app, you can go on our website, manhoodmasterclass.com. And our man of the hour is none other than Courtney Mac Woods McLean. Listen, my guy is an actor. He is an athlete. He is a veteran. He speaks on behalf of diversity and inclusion. He is a poet. This man owns a brand. Mac Woods has a brand where they have combs, they have oils, he has hats. This dude he's not a businessman, he's a businessman. So as we usually do, we have him coming out to speak to us about life. He's been hosted on documentaries by my man Jay Wiggins, where we have the Dad Girl, which is about, fathers who has daughters. So you've got to hear him speak on that platform, but this would be truly extraordinary because he would be in a physical presence with us at the event, talking about his life, and we'll be able to tap in, and learn as much as we can for him and get as much as we can. Because ideally, our goal and mission for modern manhood is become the best man that we can possibly be. Secondly, next slide. Masterclass. Well, I don't know if we got another slide, but we got our masterclass. If you guys don't know, we have a 2-hour exhilarating experience. Bam, my guy. You see that? He can't even hear me. So we got the live masterclass going down April 2nd. Shout out to Rose State College because we was looking for a place to host our master classes. And Marcel, I think you will love this. So we actually have a personal development curriculum, 2-hour dope time where men come together. We talk about vision. We actually have a curriculum that shows you how to find out your values. So you're not just living your life going day to day. We actually show you how to find what you value. You get to write that down. We have some meditation exercises that I've incorporated to help you expand into cosmic consciousness. This is where you leave behind every barrier that's holding you back from being able to achieve your highest goals. We talk about emotional intelligence, how to handle stress. We talk about how to embrace anxiety And this is literally an experience where you come, you sit down with other like-minded leaders. At the end of the day, you leave a better person, and we guarantee it. You will leave ready to execute on your goals. Understand the hindrances that's preventing you from being able to have fulfillment in life, and then top it off, we have it with a happy hour. So we play hard. We go through all our mental exercises. We go through the whole playbook that we have, and then once you leave, we have a happy hour, which we just kick it. And this is gonna be awesome, you guys, because before we had a room and it was 20 seats. Rose State is giving us the whole building. They're giving us the whole building. All right. So this is incredible, a great partnership. So we'll be able to bring everything that we've done for the playbook. We will be able to bring this to college students as well. So we are thrilled about this. We are grateful that this is even happening. But you guys, this is just the beginning. So that's what we have going on. What else do we have? Masterclass. We got the Freestyle Friday. So as you just heard from Marcel, which I believe we're going to do this again because I love the interview, but I definitely want to be clear for us to be able to maximize this. But this will be posted on all platforms. Manhood Masterclass. You can now catch all of our freestyle chats. It's now streaming on all digital outlets. So before we were just on our website, but now it's everywhere. Is that it, David? Namaste. All right. So you guys, hopefully you found value in this. Marcel, man, I bless you. I honor you. I'm grateful that you guys are going forward with helping everybody out with what you guys are doing. Continue on with what you're doing, my man, because that is definitely life changing.
Y'all too, man. This is a beautiful space. It is amazing to see two black men on here. Once I saw it and read up on it, I'm like, yo, this is a go. Y'all can have me do anything. Y'all want me to be the camera guy? I got you. What you need me to do? You need me to hold a mic? You need me to go find somebody? Y'all let me know, man. I just want to help if I can, any way I can pour in. I mean, it's like this is
what I'm thinking is we really wanted to bring a retreat. What would be dope is if we had a retreat where we did meditation, yoga, and Tai Chi.
Let me know. I'm so down for that.
I can tell you this know what's going on. This is like having a fort.
I ain't big. I'm there. Just tell me where it's at. I'm there.
Most definitely. Let me see your shirt real quick, bro. For those who don't see his shirt. And you kind of favor Meek Mill a little bit too.
Yeah.
That's dope, bro. Look at that. It's fly.
Right, so.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, any last words? Are we good?
I'm grateful, and this is good, man. I appreciate it having me on. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome. Next time we got to bring your website up too, so people can be able to see that. So Damon, we good, bro. We wrapped up. Key takeaways: do yoga. Look up Marcel Inner Black Yoga. Go and join this movement for you guys that are looking for something new to do. Even if you don't think you're looking for something new, just go and try, just to be trying. Damon looks like a foreign exchange student. Is it we're speaking another language? We got to edit this out the podcast, but yo, I wish you could hear the words we're saying right now, bro. Oh, you ever see somebody that just don't even understand? It's like you shooting your shot to a baddie, but she don't understand English, and you think like you going hard, right? Like, yo, she feeling me right now, son, but she's speaking a whole nother language, and she's like roasting you.
You got nothing going right now. All right. We love you guys. Have a blessed week and weekend. Of course, it's Friday.